Hello, guys. This is John with Gringo.dev. Wanted to check in on the latest changes to the Stoic developer project. Hopefully, this is a nice little change of pace from all of my philosophical musings yesterday, shall we say. Anyway, this is a small set of changes, but something that I think is kind of interesting and kind of impactful. So if you remember from a previous video, I was talking about implementing notification toasts and how when you navigated from one page to another, the toast would immediately disappear. And then when you hit the back button, for example, it would reinitiate. And it was just very jarring in my experience and something that I felt strongly enough about to go and write some surgical JavaScript to turn off. And I kind of mentioned that if I figured out a better way to handle this, I would follow up. And I have, actually. So just poking around in the docs for Livewire, I learned about this persist directive. And if you look at it now, applied to notifications, let's do one here. So favorite has now been added. Go to the dashboard, and you can see that that persisted very nicely across the navigation there. So that's cool. Let's check out something else. Start playing an episode here. I'm going to mute the audio so I don't annoy myself. And you can see we're at about second 9. Flip over, and it's still playing. 12, 13, 14, etc. Do a back navigation. It's still going. Forward again. It's still going. And it doesn't matter whether this is back or forward or using the in-app navigation. You can see that that state is persistent. So that's cool. How did I do it? Great question. If you flip over here, you can see in the Stoic podcast repo, which is linked on the homepage of the project, which again is stoic.gringo.dev. You can see in the commits, which I try to keep organized by feature, that we have one here called audio player persistence. It should probably say notifications persistence as well, but in any case, look at how simple this change is. I mean, it's a handful of lines. So essentially, we are just taking something we had before in the case of notifications, which is this Livewire directive. So we're invoking the notifications component, basically, and that results in some DOM content, some elements, right? And so what the persist directive from Livewire says is, okay, I'm going to name, which is notifications in this case, I'm going to name and look at the following content in the DOM. And if the same content that is wrapped here in this directive, persist, occurs in the next page that is loaded, I'm going to maintain the state of that DOM as opposed to loading it from scratch. So this is something that goes into the internals, apparently, of how Livewire does DOM diffing. But if you wrap a part of your content in this persist directive, Livewire is smart enough to know, okay, this part, when you're doing the DOM diff, make sure that you maintain the DOM that you have as opposed to fetching a new DOM from the server, or more precisely, instead of replacing the DOM that you have with the DOM that you got from the server, right? So that's kind of in a nutshell how it works. The content inside the directive needs to be the same. And same thing here. So slightly more advanced, I guess, in the sense that we're doing some string concatenation with the ID of the episode to keep the identifiers unique so Livewire doesn't get confused. But same basic idea. We're just saying, look, here is the audio element. Make sure that the audio element here, if it occurs in the next page, is persisted. And because we're basically just navigating from a home page that might or might not contain a favorite that appears on the favorites page, it is possible that both elements occur in both places. And if they do, the state is maintained. So if I favorite episode 1 and start playing it, and then I go to the favorites page, I will see my favorites there, including episode 1. And if it's on second 5 when I left the first page, it'll be on second 5 when I reach the second page. Why? Because it's the same element, right? So that state is maintained. So anyway, this is a good example, I think, of why Livewire is so powerful. And, keep in mind, this is all just JavaScript under the hood, but it is abstracted in such an elegant way that you just basically don't have to worry about it, right? And those details are handled for you. So anyway, hope that was interesting. Hope that was helpful. Again, I don't do this for money, not trying to sell you a course, nothing like that. So really it's just about building a community and educating. So please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment if you have any questions, anything like that. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.